Transit now ships with the ability to bulk import your sessions, whether via CSV, the local SSH configuration, or from Secure CRT. So as you can see here, I've got quite a few sessions and groups and objects that I want to migrate over from Secure CRT. How do I go about doing that? I'll start by exporting them by going up to the Tools section and then Export Settings right here. As long as the Sessions box is checked, I should be good to go. So I'll just put this somewhere like on my desktop just to get things going. And I'll call this Secure CRT config, and notice this is going to dump out an XML file. That's what we need. So I'll click Save here, and then click the Export button, and in just a second, the whole thing is exported, and it now lives on my desktop. So I'll close this and flip on over to Transit. Transit's import button kind of looks like a little download icon right here at the top. So when I give this a click, it takes over the main screen. I'm going to do a Secure CRT import. I'll navigate to my desktop, and I'll click on the Secure CRT config and click Open. It quickly analyzes several things that we've got here. You know, I'm importing something like 40 plus sessions, but a lot of those sessions reuse the same credentials. So what Transit does here is it finds 11 distinct logins across 43 connections, and what we need to do is fill in the gaps. Some of these sessions I already had created a login for, so we're okay to go there. But some of these sessions I'm totally missing, so I need to fill in the gaps. I can either choose an existing session or existing thing that I've already created here, or I can create a new one, like what I'll do for this Ubuntu object right here. So I'll click New. I'll call this Ubuntu password. The username, of course, was Ubuntu. I want to store this in my OS keychain. I'll give it the keychain a name like Transit Ubuntu password, and then I'll type in the secret value here and click Save. When I click Save, it automatically sets this in the dropdown. Now I'll finish the rest of these real quick. And just like any other auth profile, it doesn't have to be just username and password. Of course, we can use things like the SSH agent. So I can say something like the username here, then set it to be the SSH agent. In my case, I use 1Password, and then I'll paste in the SHA-256 fingerprint right there to set that. With all 11 of these distinct credentials set, we move on to Continue to Review, and this is where we get to look at each one of the individual sessions that we're looking to import. Big things to note, you can change the friendly name, the IP address, the port. The vendor is set to other or unknown by default because Secure CRT doesn't export, what is the known operating system. It doesn't know what the known operating system is. The other or unknown vendor automatically denies all proposed. So this is the safest way to import things and then adjust them after the fact. So knowing that this is something like a Linux server, I can change this dropdown. Now the group here is actually maintaining the folder structure that you had previously, which is really cool. But if you've already created a folder for these to live in, you can change them in the dropdown and choose something else like that. Then ultimately, what is the authentication profile you want to use? Now, if you don't want to import this object at all, just uncheck it like so. I'm going to go ahead and set my vendors now, and in just a moment, we'll see what the import actually does. So with all of these set, I'll click Import the 31 sessions that I care about here, and look at that. They're all imported, maintaining the same folder structure that I had. But you might be thinking to yourself, hang on, I want to move some of these around. Of course, you can click and drag the individual sessions to the folders that they want, or you can move an entire group. Check this out. I have a group here called Servers. And what I want to do is I want to move some of these folders under Servers. So I'll click on something like the SWE group here, and what I'll do is I'll just rename it. And in front of this, I'll call it Servers /, click Rename, and now it's nested underneath right there, underneath the Servers group.